What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So the Cook Political Report just put out some information showing a major shift in the House race. So we're going to take a look at that. So you have some seats that are shifting in the Democrats' direction. So we'll do a full breakdown of that. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, first off, I'm going to show you a clip. Now, I'm giving you a warning. The beginning of this clip, it gets a little choppy, but then it comes right back. But I want to show you this because they're talking about the different shifts that we're seeing in the House races. Here we go.
The midterm elections, and according to forecasters, Democrats have the momentum in the fight for House control. The Cook Political Report is now shifting 6 more races in Democrats' direction. 2 likely Democrat contests are now rated as solid Democrat, and 2 lean Democrat races are now rated as likely Democrat. On the Republican side, the race for Texas 15 moved from likely Republican to lean Republican, meaning that Cook now considers that a competitive race for Democrats. And joining me now to talk about
this is where it gets choppy. It'll come right back.
Aaron Covey, who is an editor at the Cook Political Report, who focuses on the House of Representatives. Aaron, thank you so much for being here. So walk us through these moves and why Cook feels that is shifting right now in the Democrats' direction potentially.
Yeah, look, we're still 4 months out from the midterm, so we don't know exactly what the battle for control of the House is going to look like. But as we get closer to November, we have more information. We have a lot of polling from both parties. We have ad reservations, fundraising totals. We know who the candidates will be in a lot of places since the primaries have finished. And so these ratings, reflect developments in these individual races. Of course, they obviously altogether reflect a political environment that favors Democrats. We also put out
and how she's saying that the political environment that favors Democrats, generally in a midterm election, it's a referendum on the president, and usually the party out of power takes control of at least the House. And so that is the environment. And then if you go even a step further with the environment, if it's a referendum on the president, obviously the economy is struggling right now. We have a war in Iran. There are a lot of things that are going on that are going to negatively impact Republicans that are running.
Initial range of potential outcomes for the House today, which shows that, in most scenarios, Democrats would control the House, but Republicans do have a path to holding it as well.
And let's talk specifically about this race in Texas between incumbent Republican Congresswoman Monica de la Cruz and this Tejano singer, Bobby Pulido. Some of his past tweets have now emerged, and they include homophobic and racist slurs. So how much of an uphill battle is he facing currently in this race?
It's a good question. So this is a seat that Trump carried by 18 points in 2024. So under normal circumstances, it's not a seat that we would generally consider competitive. But this is...
Yeah, and think about what she's saying. This is a seat that Trump won by 18 points, and now they're considering it it's close. It leans Republican, but it's a close race. And so that's a major shift. So you have to think, if it leans for Republicans right now, that means there may be a 5-point gap between the Republican incumbent and the Democratic challenger. 5 points. But Trump won it by 18. That's a huge shift.
The seat that's in South Texas has a large majority Hispanic population, and we've seen Hispanic voters have, really reverted against Trump after moving towards him in 2024. At the same time, Democrats recruited Pulido, who is a minor celebrity in the Valley in Texas. So he comes in better known than the Congresswoman Monica de la Cruz, whose district also changed as a result of redistricting. However, as you said before, Republicans have a lot of oppo that they can throw at Pulido from his past tweets and his association with the convicted sex offender. And so the ads are going to be flying. But if we look at the initial polling and the initial fundraising, this looks like quite a close race. So I think the question is this Bobby Pulido's peak? Will Republicans be able to redefine him? But right now he starts out in a pretty strong position for a district this red.
And zooming out, what would you say are the kind of current paths potentially to victory for both sides? Who has the overall advantage right now at this point, still 4 months out?
So we believe that Democrats have the overall advantage, but Republicans do have a path. If you look at our race ratings as they are right now, if Republicans won half of the toss-ups, they would still hold the House with roughly the same number of seats that they have right now. So they certainly do have a path. However, typically in a midterm cycle, we would see the party that's out of power in the White House, so Democrats in this case, they typically win those most of those toss-up races. And, as we get closer to November, that toss-up list will probably change. So it's certainly not set in stone.
Yeah, I want to ask you a little bit about that, because how many more shifts do you think we should expect to see when it comes to these ratings? A couple more, or can they be really updated all the way pretty close to November based on what you're talking about, the ad spending and some of these other interesting factors?
It varies a lot cycle by cycle, and it's not like we have a very set in stone schedule for those race ratings changes. It's very responsive to the developments that we're seeing in these races. But, in 2018, we were making a lot of race ratings changes in the final couple of months of the race. You can go on our website and see the amount of races that shifted between at this point in 2018 and November. So certainly things could change. But, we've seen nationally the generic ballot average looks good for Democrats, but not quite as good as it did in 2018. It slipped over the last month. And so, we don't exactly know that it's going to be that good of an environment as it was at that cycle.
Still so much to watch, and we know you'll be watching it very closely. Erin Covey, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Okay, so that last part there, she was talking about the generic ballot. Let's see, Real Clear Politics. I see what the generic ballot is right now. And so the generic ballot right now, it's Democrats plus 4.7. Now, if we go down, we can see exactly what's going on here. And if you look down at the bottom here, you see this major surge for Republicans. Now, Republicans, if you just look at this line, it's 44% here. If you go across that line, you see Republicans have never broken into that 44%. So we'll have to see if they're able to break into that 44%. When it comes to Democrats, Democrats are actually going up as well. And if you look at this overall, just look at the blue line, you see the blue line is steadily rising. It's not rising, really drastically, but it's steadily rising. When it comes to the Republican line, if you look at the 42% here, it's pretty much following that 42%. It'll go up above the 42%, down below the 42%, and then up above. And so we'll have to see if it can break that 44% and go even higher. And then if we go back to the generic ballot in 2018, you see in November, right before the election, we saw Democrats plus 7.3. And then the final on election day, it was plus 8.4. And so you see Democrats need to do a little bit of work if they want to get those numbers back up to where it was back in 2018. And remember, back in 2018, that's when Democrats won. They netted 40 seats. And so if we look here too, I want to show you this. So if we can go to July, around this time, July 18th, this is what the generic ballot looked like back in 2018. It was plus 7.9%. Now, obviously, when we're talking about the generic ballot, it's going to go up and down. Okay, so we see in August, it dipped down to plus 3.9% for Democrats, and then it went back up. So this just shows you an idea of what was happening in 2018, what's happening now, and what we can anticipate. But the Cook Political Report is showing that Democrats still do have momentum. And then I'll close with this. When it comes to Democrats, what do they need to take back control of the House? They need to net 3 seats. That's all. If they can net 3 seats, they will take back control of the House. So even with all the redistricting and all the stuff that you're hearing them talk about right now, Democrats, they need those 3 seats. And when we're looking at the House map, Democrats right now, give or take, there's some open seats, but Democrats right now are at 215. Republicans are at 220. As we stated, 3 seats would get Democrats to 218. 218 takes control of the House. So now I want to pass it off to you. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about the information coming from the Cook Political Report? Do you think the momentum is on the Democrat side? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.